Hi everyone, I'm Michelle C. Smith, and this is a monster roll / matrix roll tutorial. I get a lot of requests for this tutorial, so I'm finally going to do it for you. I've got 4 drills that'll help you or your students improve their monster roll practice. The first drill in our monster roll practice are neck traps. Neck traps are often overlooked because they're very simple, but they're a really important skill for building awareness and sensitivity on our neck. Now, we don't have the ability to use our hands in our rolls, so the more we can make a greater connection with our brain and our body and our baton, the more successful we're going to be at all rolls, especially monster rolls. These are so important. So we're going to put it in our neck, right above our strap. You're going to turn your chin and drop your chin to your shoulder and just very lightly lift your shoulder into your chin. So now I have this connection. My baton is not rigid. There's just a little bit of movement in there. I don't want you to trap with your ear because you don't have any control or mobility here. It's really hard to get that baton out of your neck from there. So turn your chin, drop your chin to your shoulder, and just lightly squeeze. You'll find the right amount of pressure that's right for you. From here, everything that's happening is all in your shoulders and your feet. Rolls are always in your feet. So I'm pushing my shoulder straight to the back. So my shoulder's at the front. It's going to go all the way to the back as I shift my weight onto my right foot. From here, I'm just going to open my neck, shift my weight back to the left, then I'm going to turn my chin and drop my chin. That's all that's happening. And then you just repeat on the other side. Push my shoulder all the way to the back, shift to my left foot, open my neck, turn my chin, and drop. Push, turn, push, turn. There's very little movement happening. I'm just letting the baton do my thing and providing it a nice flat surface for it to roll on while helping it just a little bit with my feet. Some of the common problems you might run into on your traps are you're losing baton as you do it. And that's just not you not keeping a consistent speed. So just try and make everything as smooth and consistent as possible. Also, I find that some students of mine tend to hit themselves in the face or they miss their baton. And that's just because you've dropped your chin too soon. You've got to be really patient with this. So push, wait, turn. Push, wait, turn. You want to be able to do 20 of these in a row in order to be proficient enough and sensitive enough on your neck for your monster roll. We're not done with traps yet. We're going to work on front traps as well as back traps. We spend a lot of time back here. This is a skill that people tend to practice, but we don't practice front traps. And the monster roll is a full circle skill, so it's going to come through the front. So you want to make sure that you know where your baton is in the front just as much as you want to know where it is in the back. Same principles apply for front traps as they do in back traps, except this time rather than pushing your shoulder to the back, you're bringing your shoulder to the front, and you end up doing this little funky dance that everybody knows, but that is the perfect amount of movement to get your front traps going. So this time you want lots of baton in the front of your body. Same principle, turn your chin, notch your ear, and you're just gonna start from the back. So I'm a little bit twisted to the back, and I'm just gonna push my front shoulder forward, then I'm gonna lean back ever so slightly just to create a platform for my baton to roll on. Long, open neck, and then when it gets to the left side, I'm just gonna turn my chin and drop. And then I can shift onto my back foot, push, lean back, and drop. So it's all about this shift, leaning back and pushing with my shoulders. Let all of this do the work. Your head really isn't moving except to turn and trap. Push, lean back, push, lean back. Now, it doesn't look very pretty, but it's really a useful skill. And again, you wanna be able to do about 20 in a row. The second drill in our monster roll series is our first half of our monster. Now we're getting into the big juicy bits. And the first half is when it comes from the back, moves all the way to the front, over to the other side. Now the reason that monster rolls are so difficult is because they require a lot of timing on the baton side, but also on the body side, and then a nice cohesion of all of that together. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention not only to where your baton is, but where your body is in space to make this work for you. Let's practice our body work first. There's 3 very important things that have to happen all at the same time to make our monster roll work. 1 is taking a step out to the side. 2 is bringing that arm straight up to the side, not doing a big fancy circle like this, and I'll tell you why in a second. And 3 is leaning over so that your center of gravity becomes over this hip and on top of this arm. Okay, so that's all going to happen at the same time. I'm going to step out to the left as my right arm comes up, and I end up in this perpendicular position here with the floor so that my baton has the smallest area to roll over. The reason I have you step out to the side and not do a big circle with your arm is because we have to change the center of your gravity. Now, essentially, you're replacing your head that's in the middle of your baton right now with your arm. So to do that, you have to take a step out to the side as you lift your arm. If you start doing this giant circle, which is how some people teach, and it's not wrong, you're just creating more surface area for your baton to roll around. So essentially, you're just making it harder. Let's talk about your baton. Your baton also has 3 very important steps it needs to complete, and it's going to start with your traps. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do 1 trap to the right side. This is dip number 1. This is a very important part. You have to get your baton to dip into this trap position before you even start to open your arm. When it gets here and it starts traveling towards the back, you're going to feel it hit the back of your shoulder. You're going to start lifting your arm straight up as that baton does the circle around your arm, the second most important part. Third is it's going to drop into the dip in the trap position in the front. So this is the third most important part before you stand up. So you don't get to stand up till it hits this position, and then you're going to lean back like in your front trap. This is why they're so important, and you're going to catch it on the left side. That is the first drill, the first half of your monster roll. Again, to review, starting in your trap position on the left side, you're going to push into dip number 1. As your baton keeps moving, you're going to dip your head just a little bit. When you feel it coming across the back of your shoulder here, that's the perfect time for you to lift your arm straight up to the side and take a step out at the same time. Your baton is going to travel all the way around your arm with your arm pointing straight up to the ceiling. You're going to wait forever. It feels like forever. Don't stand up too soon. When it gets into this dip number 2, the front trap position, then you may stand up, bring your arm down at the same time, lean back, and you're going to catch it on this left side. And I want you to catch it here to avoid that bad habit. Our third drill for our monster rolls is the second side or the left side of the monster roll. Now, most of the same principles apply here, but this one's just very slightly different just because of the nature of it coming from the front rather than from the back. Again, let's go over the body work for our second side monster roll, the left side. Now, all of the same principles apply, but the path of your arm is just very slightly different, and it's for a good reason. Now, because we're moving with the left arm up, you're still going to take a step out to the right to change your center of gravity over top your shoulders and your hips so that you get this perpendicular position. Now, the path of your arm is the only thing that's different. Rather than coming straight up to the side, it's going to start by coming straight up to the front first at a 45-degree angle. Once you get to about here with my palm facing the right side, I'm going to step and flip my hand so that my palm is now facing the left side. So it just does this little flick in the air. It's kind of like a little fishtail thing that you want to do. Now this helps the baton get all the way around your arm. It has a little bit of a longer path here because it's coming from the front. So this little flick, it seems like nothing, but it's actually really useful for you to get that baton all the way around your body. And then again, it's the same thing. You end up in this position, nice and tight. Core is tight, that's really important. Arm is perpendicular to the floor, and you wait. You let your baton do the thing. When it's in that spot, you're just gonna stand up and shift your weight. The baton pretty much stays exactly the same for our second side. It still does its dip, it still goes around the arm, you wait, and then you catch it on the other side. So it goes dip, circle, dip, catch. Exact same thing as the front side. Now the timing is the thing that's slightly different. So as I'm pushing out of my front trap, I have lots of baton in the front. As my baton passes center and it's heading towards this front left corner, that's when I lift my arm up. So they're gonna come and meet at the same time. Once I've got it on just the bottom of my deltoid here, I'm gonna take my step, I'm gonna flick my hand open, and that's when the baton travels around your arm into this side of your neck. You stand up and pulse through it. The fourth drill in our monster roll series is actually the easiest, and one of those drills that's really great for kids to start building awareness around their necks and makes them think they're doing a monster roll. And all it is just practicing the back half of your monster roll. So you do all this beautiful rolling and then it gets to here and you have no idea what to do. So it's a good idea to make sure you're practicing how to get out of it, and it also teaches you how to transfer into another one. So all you're going to do, you're going to lift up your left arm, hold your baton around the threads in your right hand. You're going to wrap your baton around your straight arm at the top, all the way till it hits this trap position on the left side. Then you're going to shift your weight to your left foot as the baton comes across your back. You're going to find this dip like we talked about on the first half of our monster roll. When you find that, you're just going to lift your arm and you're going to catch it in your left hand underneath that right armpit and pull it out. Super simple. Kids love that one, and it's pretty. Now here are some common problems that people run into when they're practicing their monster rolls. One, as the baton is coming around, the baton hits their ribs and doesn't make it all the way into this front trap. Now this is because of two problems, and it could be both or it could be one or the other. Now the first one is that you're not waiting long enough in this position. When I said earlier that you need to lean over and wait forever, I meant you literally need to wait forever. It's a long way from the back of your shoulder all the way to the front that your baton has to travel. If you're standing up when it hasn't made it all the way around your arm, you're just essentially pushing that baton away. Now this applies to both sides. More so on the second side. I find that people want to stand up too soon on the second side as well, so it's not going to make it all the way around. You've got to wait till it hits these trap positions before you even think about initiating standing up. The other problem you're going to run into if it's hitting your ribs is it's probably that you're stepping with your right foot and not your left foot. So what happens when you step with your right foot is you're pushing your rib cage into your baton. So like I said, you're replacing your head with your arm, but by stepping to the right, you're pushing into your baton, so you're just pushing it away from you. Notice how both of those problems involve you pushing it away from you. So you really just gotta figure out the body work, lean over, and let the baton do its thing. That's why it's so important to practice the body work before you even get in there, because when you combine the baton and body, we all know what kind of crazy things can happen. Another common problem that people run into is they don't feel like they have enough baton to go all the way around their arm to make it to the front in their monster roll. And this all has to do with how you can manipulate your traps. Again, this is why traps are so important. So if you start your trap too far to the end on your left side, by the time it makes it to the right, you don't have enough baton to go around. So you either have two options. You can either start your trap a little bit closer to the center so that when it comes around to this first dip side, you have lots of baton in the back. Or you can do a very subtle shift with your head if you're really good at your traps, and this is something that I do all the time, is my traps are always in a different spot, especially if I'm coming from neck rolls. So when I get to here, I just have to do a little shift forward with my head to help my baton slide a little bit farther to the back. This one takes finesse, it's a little subtle, and it's pretty advanced, but if you think your traps are good enough, then it is a very viable solution for you. Third common problem is that your baton is traveling too far up your arm for it to make it back down into your trap. And that is a complete opposite of our other problems that we've run into, and that's because you're going too soon. So your baton isn't quite ready for you to go, so it makes it all the way up your arm on the other side. It can happen on both sides. If I go too soon, it ends up here and down the side, and it's a little bit scary because that's your baton dropping onto your face. So it's all about timing. You gotta wait till you feel your baton just lightly grazing your shoulder back here. That's when you know it's the perfect time to go. But like most rolls, it's personal. Your body is different than my body is different from everyone else's body. So this is why you have to sit there and do it over and over and over again until you discover your sweet spot. In order to be successful in your monster rolls, you have to combine the very subtle timing of your baton and body into one cohesive unit, which is what makes it so difficult. So you want to make sure that you're practicing each point as you go. There's no need to rush. There's no way you're going to get a full monster roll if you can't do each half on its own. You're ready for a full monster roll when you can do each of these drills 10 out of 10. So that's 10 times in a row. If you're not quite there yet, you have a little bit of work to do, and that's okay, that's perfect. But the only thing you need to know about connecting the roll is that rather than from here, trapping it in this left side like we talked about, you're just going to bring your left arm up sooner and take that step out to the right so that you can get it all the way to here and into your neck. So it goes all the way around to the other side. So that's it for the monster roll / matrix roll tutorial. Thank you for watching. I hope you find some value in it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. If you're interested in lessons, I do teach all over the world, and I also teach online. Rolls are a really great subject to practice online because you can do them anywhere. For more information on that, you can go to my website, michellecsmith.com, and all of the info's there. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.